So, welcome everyone. We're so excited you're here for tonight's Flourish event. Whether you're joining us first time or you've attended Flourish before, thank you for spending your evening with us. Tonight, we're diving into the world of photo organizing and preservation with our special guest, Jennings. Your photos are more than clutter, they're your family story. Jennings will walk us through her simple five-step system for gathering, sorting, and preserving printed photos so your memories are protected, accessible, and ready to pass down. Whether you have one shoebox or 20 years of albums, you'll leave tonight with a plan that you can actually use. Before we get started, again, a quick thank you to our dues paying alumna. Your continued support makes Flourish programming like tonight possible, allowing us to create memories and opportunities to learn, connect, and grow together. Yes, we'll have two giveaways tonight this evening. One winner will receive a Dig Your Photos kit from Spacemaker Professional, Jennings brand, and another will win a 30-minute conversation with Jennings after the event to continue your learning and exploration into your photo preservation. The official giveaway terms and conditions are available on the event listing on the Kappa website. Now, you'll need to be present to win, so if we call your name, please make sure you let us know in the chat that you're here or unmute yourself and be like, "Hey, Sophie, I'm here." So let's get started and get everybody warmed up and let's see where everybody's tuning in from. I'm so sorry if you guys were here when my map was giving me a hard time. So if you haven't had time to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, city or state, feel free to drop it in. Otherwise, I'm going to start seeing where everybody is because this map is full, y'all. Let me pull back a little bit. We got a lot of people. Okay, is it also not going to let me click on people? I want to say hi. I see. Okay, Caitlin Morris in Chicago. Hello, Libya in Minneapolis. We have Christina in Kansas. We have Cindy in Omaha. I know Alex on staff is she went to Creighton, so she knows Omaha. We have Erin in Pittsburgh. We have Sherry in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome everyone. Let's see. I know there's a lot of people down here too. We have Lee in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Welcome. Suzanne in Georgetown, Texas. We got Casey Keller in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and so is Jennings. We have who's down here in Florida? We have Susie in Naples. Welcome. Let's go out to the West Coast. I know we got lots of peeps. We got Christine in Boise, Idaho. Welcome. We have Meredith Raddick in Vancouver. We have Dana in San Francisco, y'all. There is just people everywhere. This map is just popping off. We have Aline in Waterloo. Welcome. We got Laura in Ripon. Y'all, this seriously is crazy. Lexington, Massachusetts. Hi, Carmen. Welcome, everyone. I feel like that was a good amount of hellos. If I missed you, I'm so sorry, but welcome, everyone. We're so happy that you're all here. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the host tonight, Jennings King, a sister from Clemson, the founder of Spacemaker Professional, a Charleston, South Carolina-based business specializing in photo digitizing, digital organization, and family archive preservation. After her 13-year career as a wedding photographer, she combined her expertise in storytelling, technology, and organization to help families transform overwhelming collections into accessible, organized digital archives. Through her concierge style approach, Jennings helps clients preserve photos, videos, documents, and memorabilia for future generations. She serves families throughout the Southeast and beyond. Jennings is passionate about making family memories easier to find, future-proof for generations, and simple to share with family and friends. We're so grateful she's spending the evening with us and cannot wait to learn to organize from her. Now, before we hand things over, Jennings, it's time for our first giveaway. As I said earlier, one lucky winner will be receiving a Dig Your Photos kit from her brand, the Spacemaker Professional, to help kickstart their photo organization journey. So let's have a little fun with this giveaway. Our question is, where are the items you're working with tonight coming from? So just drop in the chat what answer best represents where your photos and photo related items are living. So one, under your bed, two, in the junk drawer, three, in the attic, or four, literally everywhere. Be honest, we're not judging. I know for a fact all of mine are underneath my bed here in Charleston and at home in Dublin, Ohio. So, and I also believe they're all in Sperry boxes because I was very into Sperry's in middle school and high school. So I relate to it just being completely under my bed. It seems that mostly everybody is in the fours. They're literally everywhere. There's only 6% that are like me underneath the bed, but that's okay because we're going to see how to fix this. So I feel like there's still some answers coming in, so I don't want to stop anybody. This is so fun. 80% is literally everywhere. Okay. I'm not okay. There's enough. Oh, okay. So I feel that this is a good time for us to pull our lucky winner, our first winner of the night, who's going to be winning the Dig Your Photos kit from Jennings, which is super exciting. Our winner is Melinda Moyer. Are you here? Do you want to unmute yourself or let me know if you're here? I don't know if she's here, so I'm gonna pull another winner just to be safe. If you're here, just let me know, y'all. The winner is, congratulations, Christine Douglas. Are you here? Christine Douglas. Christine Douglas, I see you. Congratulations. You're going to be, yes, Jennings, I will connect you to tomorrow to make sure that you get your Dig Your Photos kit and everything that Jennings needs in order to mail that to you. So without further ado, I'm excited to turn things over to our expert for the evening. Please join me in welcoming Jennings King.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you are all here. Okay,
You ready, Jennings? You just need to,
do I need to share?
yes, you need to share your Canva presentation.
Oh,
Everyone's saying hello and that they need this so badly.
okay. Now let's find the button for share. It changed. Here we go. Okay, Canva as background share.
Perfect.
All right, here we go. Doggone it. All my screens changed, but it's okay. Okay, let me move y'all over here. Okay. So I am so glad y'all are here today. Tonight, y'all, it's 8:30 in South Carolina. And I just want to say thank you to Kappa Kappa Gamma for allowing me to be a part of the Flourish events. I was starting to watch them and I was like, golly, these are so cool. I love the map. I love seeing where everybody's from. And I wanted to say thanks to what Kappa has given me. I'm a picture person. So 30 years ago today was my bid day. If you can see this, this was me in 1996 at Clemson University. And I pledged Kappa 30 years ago, which is kind of crazy. These are my composites. I'm sure all of y'all have composites. So, with that said, I am excited about giving back to Kappa what they have given to me. I have so many wonderful Kappa friends and even neighbors that are Kappas. So, it's been really fun. So, let's get started. I want to start by saying something before we get into anything practical. Tonight isn't about getting organized, it's about making sure your story doesn't get lost. The photos in your closet, your attic, your phone, they are the only physical evidence that a moment and the people in it ever existed. And that matters more than organizing system I could ever teach you. So let's get started. Hey y'all, yes, I'm from the South. I pledged Kappa Kappa Gamma at Clemson University in 96. I'm the founder of Space Maker Professional and I'm a certified photo manager. More about me. As I said, I'm a photo manager and I help to preserve your physical and digital historical items. But before now, I was a professional wedding and lifestyle photographer for 20 years, and that gave me the love of memories and photos. And so, what I say is, I used to create memories, and now I'm preserving memories for families. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I just wanted to kind of give you, you can see here I've got a 13-year-old son. We're in the golf family. But why? Why did I get into this? And it really came from my age. I'm 48. I have family who is downsizing, or your mom and your dad are starting to give you things and you're like, what in the world? Where do I put this? They are downsizing. They have hundreds of albums and they're like, what am I supposed to do with all of this? I have friends who are moving out of their family homes, but yet they want to preserve their homes. And how do you do that? Well, that's where I come in and I help those families organize and digitize all of these moments and help clean the clutter out. So that's kind of how my company started, Space Maker Professional. I do need to add that I was a dancer my entire life, so I love to dance, and I have to add in that I do love my 80s music, and I especially love Tina Turner and Michael Jackson. Okay, what are we covering tonight? We're going to talk about why this matters. Then we'll get into what to keep, what to let go, a simple step-by-step system that you can start using this week and tonight, and how to protect your memories for long term. And then we'll have Q&A at the end, and
Hola, Esther, ¿cómo estás?
I really encourage y'all
Bien,
to drop your
sí.
questions in the chat.
Jaime comentó que mi papá te está causando un poquito de problema y me da mucha pena que esté
I think somebody
causándote
has their
estrés.
microphone on. I don't speak that language. But so drop your questions in the comments and then we'll get to them at the end. And I want to hear every question you have. And then we'll have some more giveaways. One more giveaway. So overall, we're not here to overwhelm you tonight. We're here to give you a system that you can actually use. All right, I told y'all I like photos, so here we go. These were from Clemson. So in the icebreaker, I know that we've kind of covered all of this. I know where you're joining from, but I would also love to know what year you graduated from your college as a Kappa. And also write one word that describes your photo collection. So I would love to see some of these. And Sophie can read them out for me.
I
And then
have
we'll move on.
I have some answers of 2015, 1992, 1984, chaotic and massive, overwhelming, 2014, beautiful but not organized, 2002, expansive, 1984, expansive, 2001, all over the place. I
That's
have
great.
1983, chronological,
Oh, that's a good one. Yay.
2002, all over the place, 1979, messy,
Okay.
thousands.
Y'all get the idea, right? None of you are alone. And that's exactly why we are here tonight. Look at these faces of my dad's side of the family. Someone took that photo because that moment mattered, because those people mattered. When we lose photos to floods, fires, hurricanes, we don't just lose pictures, we lose proof that those people were here. This is legacy work, and you get to be the one who protects it. Photos carry what words can't always say. The look on someone's face, where you lived, who you were surrounded by. They preserve family history that future generations may never hear about any other way. Your grandchildren may never meet your parents, but they can know them through photos. That's not organizing, that is legacy. Okay, why do people get stuck? Does any of this sound familiar? Photos in three different boxes, albums from the 70s, CDs that you've never checked, a phone full of images. This The problem isn't that you don't care. The problem is you don't have a system. Most people don't have a photo problem, they have a fragmentation problem. And the longer it sits, the more overwhelming it feels. So you do nothing, and the photos keep sitting. Here's where we're headed: from overwhelmed to organized, from fragmented to protected. The goal isn't a perfectly curated museum. The goal is that your memories are safe, accessible, and shareable. Imagine being able to pull a photo out for your kids and grandkids and say, I know exactly where this is and what it means. And that's what we're building tonight. Okie dokie. It is break time, but short time. What I want you to do is, if you brought a stack of photos, if you brought an album, if you brought anything with you and your supplies, get it now. And if you didn't, don't worry, just listen. I promise you'll learn a lot. Okay, that's just one of my 40 boxes. And if it makes you feel any better, I haven't even digitized half of my collection because now it's my job. All right, so here we go. Here is the system. 5 steps, and you don't have to do them all tonight. Gather, sort, timeline, categorize, and digitize. 5 steps, starting with even one changes everything. This isn't about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it at all. Progress over perfection. I want you all to listen. Progress over perfection. You're going to hear that again. Say it to yourself. Say it out loud. Say it proud. Okay. Step 1, gather. I just love these pictures. These are my Kappa sisters, of course, from Clemson. Step 1 is gather, and I want you to hear me on this. Do not start with everything. Start with what's in front of you. One box, one stack, one album. The goal right now is simple. Get your photos out of hiding into one place so you can see what you're actually working with. You cannot organize what you do not see. If you grab something during the break, perfect. This is your starting point. Step 2 is a quick sort, and I mean quick. Do not linger and do not overthink. You're making 4 piles. Gold is your absolute best, your must keep, must display, must protect. Silver, good, not essential. Bronze, maybe, has context or story, but isn't a priority. And trash. Trash is my favorite. Blurry photos, duplicates, multiple landscapes, sunsets. Y'all, you don't need it all. Trust your gut. If you're hesitant on a photo for more than 5 seconds, it's not gold. And here's something important. You are allowed to throw photos away, like I just said. That's not disrespectful. That's curating your legacy. Keeping everything means nothing stands out. Curating is an act of love, not loss. All right, this is one of my favorites. Step 3 is the secret weapon. Before you organize photos, map out your family's story. Mark your births, weddings, moves, schools, big moments that anchor your timeline. When you know what happened when, placing photos becomes so much faster, and I'll show you at the end. You're not guessing anymore. And for your KKG years, this is where those college memories find their home in your story. I will go into this in depth after the presentation. Step 4 is categorize. This is where you place your gold and silver photos into a system that makes sense for your life. Chronological is the most common, it's my favorite, and the easiest, but you can also organize by events, people, or chapters of life. There's no wrong system, The right system is the one you will actually maintain. Pick one and commit. You can always refine later. Other cute people here. Y'all see the cute people. Okay, step 5, digitize. This is how you future-proof your collection. Scanning creates a backup. So if the physical photo is ever lost, the memory isn't. Digitizing also means sharing. You can send a photo to your daughter in seconds instead of digging through a box. Hence, recipe cards are a big one for this. But here's the key. Curate first, then scan. Do not pay for somebody to scan 500 duplicates of your Christmas cards. Digitizing can absolutely be its own separate phase, and I would love to talk with you more about it, but that's an entire different presentation. But the single most important thing I will tell you tonight is this. If it only exists in one place, it is at risk. Okay, everybody, give yourself a round of applause. You did it. You learned the first 5 steps. Now the question is, which stack are you going to start with this week? Okay, before we get to one other giveaway, here are a few quick tips. Start with 15 minutes and set a timer. Timers help. You will be amazed at what you can sort in one focused session. Make it a family activity. Gather around a table, let the kids sort with you, let the stories come out naturally. This is one of the best ways of learning what the photos actually are, is telling stories about each photo. Don't overthink your decision. If you're stuck on a photo for more than 5 seconds, it's probably bronze and out of here. And say it with me. Progress over perfection. A partially organized collection is infinitely better than one that's never been touched. You don't need a perfect day or a free weekend. You need 15 minutes and one stack of photos. All right, we got one more giveaway. And before we get to that, I would love Sophie to drop the link to subscribe to my newsletter. Y'all, I send out a newsletter once a month and I do not spam you. I promise you it is good info. And I would love for all of y'all to subscribe. And the next one is a 30-minute consultation call with me to get personalized advice for your specific collection. We'll look at what you have and build a plan just for you. And then congrats to Christine for getting your Dig Your Photos kit. I will say, y'all, the Dig Your Photos kit is my friend Rhoda who created the kit, and it has everything in there that you need to quick start your organizing. Okay, I just wanted to say thank y'all. This has been so much fun. We've got a lot more to go. I wanted to get through the basics so that I can answer your questions and actually show you how to do it. And one last thing is just to remember, I would love for y'all to follow me on Instagram. And I think Sophie will drop that. Y'all are going to get all of this as a follow-up email as well. I'm very active on Instagram and would love a new friend. And also, I just wanted to say that these are not just photos, they are your story. And you get to be the one who protects it for yourself, for your kids, and your grandkids that you haven't met yet. Don't let your stories get lost, and start with one stack. Start tonight and go Tigers.
That was perfect, Jennings. Are you wanting to switch your camera to do your demonstration now?
Yes. Okay. Now we're getting in the complicated stuff here. Let's see.
It's all good. We just need to turn your camera off on your computer and on your iPhone so we can see your desk.
Okay. Okay. Okay,
There
did
we
that
go.
work? Oh,
Yep. There
it,
you go.
okay, hold on. Let's see. What does it say later? Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Now
Yeah,
I'm looking this way. Y'all, this is so fancy. I'm glad this is all working.
you're doing great.
Okay, did you want to do the giveaway now or at the very end, right?
Yes, because I have it after your Q&A and I have some
Okay,
questions that we'll
perfect.
do beforehand.
Okay, so let's start with a box. Y'all, I brought my own box. Here it is. This is 98 through 2000. Okay, these are organized, all right? But listen, I see it all. So you might have a stack that looks like this. These are all of my Kappa photos, and they're not in order, but that is one thing I would do is put them in order by date. These were called flash back in my day. Or you might have just random stacks of photos like this. So what I always do is I just start sorting. I pull out the duplicates first. I start seeing the size of the photos. Okay, because usually the way cameras work back in the day, you'd have 24, 36 per roll. And if these are smaller than these, then that's a different roll. So that's a different time. So you're just gonna look through your photos, start deciding what you want, what you don't want, make a trash pile. Also, another trick is if you have no idea what order these, a little trick is to flip over your photos and actually look at the back because you can tell by some of them have dates from the 70s. The 70s were really good about printing dates on the back, but even the paper of similar rolls of film will be the same. So those are just little tips that you can use to help sort in chronological order, and get rid of the ones that you don't want. Okay, I'm going to pull one out here. And I can't see I can see the comments now. Oh, 78 new comments. That's real nice. All right. So like here, um, doubles. Throw the doubles away, okay? You don't need them. So once you've started, what I do is I take a roll or take, a stack, and then you're going to get your green index card. And let's say, what was that? That was June of 2000. You're going to write the year on your green index cards. And then you're going to put the green index card in front of the photo and it'll stick up like that. And then you'll get your box, your shoe box, like I told you to get, that is at least a 5x7 width, and you're going to place it in there. Now I have these, it makes it a lot easier, but you can also ball up like newspaper and stick it in here until they're full so that they're not sliding down. So you're going to make a green card for the years that you are organizing. So let's say you have 2000, then you're going to do 2001. Stick that in there. This is a organized stack, meaning I have already culled out those duplicates and multiple sunsets. You don't need all the sunsets or sunrises, and you stick them in there. Now, what the white card is, let's say that was prom, okay? Prom was April 2000, okay? White cards are for the details of the event. So I'm going to stick that behind the green. And let's say, okay, this set is graduation. So now you're going to write at the top, graduation. And what I like to do is also put the year 2005, which means May. So as you can see, this is probably backwards. I write graduation and I write the year and then the dash and then the month, which is 05, May. So then when you look at it, you've got 2000, whoops, let's see. Let's pretend it's 2000. You've got 2000, and then you've got April, and then you've got May, and then all of these go in here. So that is how I organize a stack of photos. Do we have any questions before I go into albums?
I would say that you're good to continue. All the questions are kind of all over the place, so we can just do those
Okay.
at the end.
Okay, so those are loose photos. Now we're going to get into albums, and they're all sorts of albums. I'm going to show you my baby album that I haven't even digitized because I was saving it for y'all. And then I'm also going to show you the one that you saw on the presentation was my grandfather's, and they had wooden scrapbooks, okay? And this is totally falling apart, but don't worry, I've already digitized it. And so back then, they would have handwriting and photos like this. And so what I did is I digitized it, I camera shot it. I would take a picture of this entire page because you want the handwriting. The handwriting is half the history. Here's my grandfather and grandmother on their wedding day. Pretty cool. And so every different album has a different technique to digitize and organize. With these, now that I have digitized each page and the handwriting, I have a backup of it. Now what I plan on doing is taking out these photos separately and keeping those because the paper and the glue deteriorate the photo and they're not safe in there. All right, now I'm going to show you a 1970s album, late 70s probably. The lovely adhesive albums, okay? Everybody knows and loves these. This is where you had the stick and peel paper here. These are horrible for your photos, so get them out. But let me show you how to get them out. So this is what I'm talking about, the photos with this light is so bright, with the date on them. This was Jack Rabbit was very popular in the 70s as a developer. All right, in your kit, when you order it, you will have what we call a palette knife. If you're a painter, you're familiar with this. And when I take clients' albums apart, this is what you call an adhesive album. You have to literally scrape the photo out with the palette knife, depending on how much glue is on them. Okay, that one, I'd already taken that one off. This is me on the day I was born. All right, so then the plan would be to throw this away at the end, okay? You pull it up, pull up the page, stick the palette knife under, find a good corner, and see these are a little bit harder, and you have to scrape all the photos like this, piece by piece. And this is why adhesive albums are difficult and painful. All right, so that's an adhesive album. And after that, I would throw this thing away. I would probably take a picture of the cover and also add it to the collection of photos, but then you toss that. And can you imagine how much room this saves in your house, especially if you're downsizing? All right, let's get to my favorite part, the timeline. So when I am organizing photos for clients, I create a timeline for all the families. And the reason I do this is because it makes it go so much faster. When I'm looking through photos, such as, I'm just going to give this an example, and you have semi-formal 1998, and then you've got Kappa Kidnap 1999. Well, let's say you have, I made up a family. Let's say Susie is on her ninth birthday, and you know that because you see 9 candles in a photo, and you're like, oh God, what year was that? And you're like, I don't have time to think about the dates or the years. So you see that Susie is 9, and then you come over here and it's in 1985. Same thing that, let's say, Ben turned 1. Well, how old was Ralph? Ralph was 8, Susie was 13. And then the parents are 39 and 38. And you go down, you write down, and this is a download for you guys. You can download this and fill it out. And then you go over, and it helps the speed of figuring out when things are when, because there's so many variables in a family, but you might have one clue and one clue only, and then you can cross-reference. This is kind of like cross-referencing. I compare my job, I said it today to my husband, I compare it to the game memory. Do y'all remember the memory game where you flip over the cards? Because when you're going through a family collection, which probably are very similar to y'all's, you have photos and doubles everywhere. And when you start going through every single one, you're like, oh, I've seen that one before. It goes with this. But you have to remember where it was, which is why the timeline helps, because then you can look back at what year it was. So it's just sort of it's a puzzle. It's a mystery. If you like mysteries, it's very much like that. And you also get to figure out your family history at the same time. Okay, any questions?
Is that your final demonstration? Are you ready to go into
I'm
Q&A?
gonna do I'm gonna do one more.
Then I feel like that's perfect to finish out your
Okay.
demonstration.
All right. So, one other difficult thing that I have found is there will be tape, sticky tape on the backs of photos. For some reason or another, people wanted to stick them with tape or glue, okay? You can't send those through scanners and then they damage the other photos behind. So in the kit, there is an eraser. This is a special eraser. It's on my Amazon storefront, the link will drop. This is a special eraser, and you erase the tape or the glue off the back of the photo, and it really works, and it takes it off, and then they don't stick. Okay, I think that was my tips.
Yay, amazing. Well, then I'll share my screen so that you can start to see what questions we had roll through throughout your
Okay.
presentation. I'll go ahead and ask them away then. Okay, so the first question is, what is the best method of digitizing print photos in your opinion?
Is this for, I guess, for somebody doing it at home themselves?
I'm imagining.
So,
I think she put a comment for the highest quality.
okay, you want to scan your photos at 600 DPI because you need it to be a high enough resolution in order to print them if you want up to about 8 by 10. And 600 is the standard. What I have found in my experience is that if you sent some to, say, Walmart or Costco back in the day and they digitized them, they only digitize at 300 DPI, which means you can only safely print out like a 2 by 3, maybe a 4 by 6 photo at high resolution. So resolution is very important when you're scanning. Um, I also would suggest a scanner. I use the Epson Fast Photo Scanner FF680W. That is one that feeds photos through, but not everything can go through that. You need another flatbed scanner.
Um, Somebody's asking, can you move into her house and help her? That's not,
I would love to.
Do you have any good apps for an iPhone that will automatically take away duplicates from their camera roll?
No, I do not. I know that if you have your photos in iPhotos, the actual program, it now detects duplicates. But I don't know of a specific program you can use. I don't know how advanced you are. There is a program called Photo Sweeper that I use as a professional digitizer. It gets a little complicated, so depending on your level, Photo Sweeper is a great program to use to remove duplicates.
What is a good way to organize if you don't know when a photo is from or there is no date or year associated with it?
Yes, so what I do is I make a blue card for that and I put miscellaneous. Oh, what camera am I
Through
on?
the
That one?
phone.
Okay, I put miscellaneous and I make a totally separate pile for miscellaneous photos. And if you have to name them miscellaneous or questionable photos, go ahead and do it, but at least they're digitized.
Next question is, do you do your process with one photo album at a time?
No. So my process is I take all the photos out of the albums. Bef My last step is digitizing. So I take one album at a time. I deconstruct the album. I will make a pile for that album. Some albums are already in chronological order, which is usually the case. And then once all the photos are out of the album, then I'll sort within all of those photos that I have pulled from the album.
That makes total sense. What if all of your pics are in a scrapbook? What is your best suggestion?
So, like I showed you on my grandfather's photo album, is what I first would do if it's a scrapbook, same principle. You want to digitize the page like this, meaning you want a picture of this whole page because a scrapbook might have three-dimensional or handwriting or all different sorts of. So take a picture of the page first. Once you have that, then you can start taking the pictures out and scanning those separately.
So I kind of think you just answered our next question, and it's what if you have old family photos from your great grandparents with names and dates written on the back? How would you organize those and keep that info?
Yes, so my scanner will also scan both sides at once. If you don't, I highly recommend scanning both sides if they have information on the back and doing your best to put them in chronological order. When you get into the old photos, you get all different sizes and borders and shapes, and they're very fragile. So you just have to really be careful with digitizing those.
Do you just guess the year if you don't know it and go back to it, or is this where you're miscellaneous?
This is sort of when your skill comes in as to what you've seen in the past as a professional. You can start guessing. If you truly do not know, you can do it by decade. Okay, it doesn't have to be by the year. Let's say you know it within 5 years or a decade. Do as best as you can. If they're really old photos, like, uh, 1920s, you can start investigating the clothing or the hairstyles or the makeup. Um, and there is a lot on the internet to ask about, you know, what was the style back then.
Photo thing I wanted to listen to. Come in here.
That's wonderful.
Oh,
Go in there.
okay. Next question is there a good way to go through photos that are on their phones?
Okay, that's a whole nother presentation. um, it depends on if you're using iPhotos. I'm very familiar with that. iPhotos has really made it easy to look for duplicates and get them in order of when you took the picture. Outside of that, that's a that's a different presentation.
How?
But here's what I would say. Here's what I would say. Do not trust iPhotos as your main backup, as your main photos. You need them at least two places, meaning if you have iPhotos, you also need to download your photos and put them on an external hard drive because people can hack into your Apple account and all of your photos will disappear.
You don't want that. How do you not get a glare or get the lighting right when taking photos of your photo albums?
Ooh, you need to be in a dark, okay, this is very technical. I, I don't want to get too technical, but you need to be in a dark room with two lights at 45 degrees so that when they land, you don't get a glare. Um, the it's a technical setup. I do not use flash. You do not need to use flash. I didn't even use flash as a photographer, unless it was at a reception. But if worse comes to worse, I would find a shaded area out on a covered porch and do it in daylight where there's no reflection. Glossy photos are just a beast because of the paper that they are, and they're always going to reflect.
What do you do when one of the adhesive albums covers stick to the photos?
Okay, this is when you get this solution. This is on my Amazon. This is Undo. It's very strong, but it removes sticky substance, and you want to test this on your photo prior to really getting in there. And a little goes a long way. You drop it, and then they have this thing, and you literally scrape it. Okay, you have to be very careful.
Do you have any recommendations for converting old video cassettes from the 80s camcorder? She's been using Scan Digital for converting negatives, but have had some issues, so she's looking for a different option of a company.
So, depending on where you are, I also work with videos, and my partners do all of that. I would look locally. I mean, they're the big box places, but I've heard horror stories from those places, so I don't really recommend them, but you need to find somebody else. I would not do that by yourself.
So what do you do with the albums when you've scanned them? Do each of them get their own flash drive?
No, a flash drive, you can get in different sizes. My end client usually has a lot of stuff, so I'm using like a 2 terabyte external hard drive. For a scrapbook and images, you could probably use a 16 gigabyte flash drive and put everything on there. It just depends on the size. of your final file. So a flash drive anywhere from 16 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. It just depends on your end product. But I would not separate the pieces per flash drive.
What kind of scanner do you recommend? I know you mentioned the one you have.
Yeah, so this one's easy. This one's the Epson Fast Photos 680W, but I also have the Epson Flatbed, which that's when you do like fragile things like this. And that's a Epson V600, and I really don't even know if they manufacture those anymore. The sad thing is a lot of people are not scanning anymore. So
Since we have so many photos on our phone, do you recommend we print them? She is worried that since they're just on her phone, at least they're not in a junk drawer somewhere.
yeah, I would get another copy of them. I would download them from your phone, make sure that they are the high resolution photos, that they're not just the previews. Download them and put them on an external hard drive. And you really need to have your photos in three places. So whether your photos are in the cloud, you need to have a hard drive of your photos. And I even tell clients to duplicate that hard drive to another hard drive and put it in a safety deposit box.
Um, Another question of, I feel like you've gone over this, but just how do you organize all of the digital photos? It seems very overwhelming because I know a lot of people have mentioned having thousands and thousands of them. I know myself, I have
Yeah.
thousands of them.
Um, like I said, iPhotos has made it pretty easy to delete duplicates. That takes a lot longer. And the good thing is when you're working on iPhotos and you have somebody else doing it, we can pull it off so we're never right in your space. We literally pull everything off of your iCloud and then we work on it off site. Um, but if you were doing it yourself, I would recommend going through your photos once a week and deleting them. I do this every Sunday night. I go back and I look at my week's photos and I delete all my photos. Another easy thing is if you go into iPhotos, now they have the utility option and you can go into screenshots. I just deleted all of my screenshots and that was about 2,500 screenshots and now they're gone. So it is sort of easy to do that way.
Well, thank you. I'm so sorry. That is our last question of the evening. I want to be cognizant of your time and everybody else's as we only have 3 more minutes and one more amazing giveaway item to still get through. So, thank you everybody for asking such wonderful questions. Before we wrap up, as me and Jennings have both mentioned, there's a 30-minute conversation with Jennings herself to continue your exploration, get some personalized information on your photo journey. So, our giveaway is going to be what is one photo or collection of photos you're most excited to find, organize, or preserve? So just drop in the chat what you're most excited for. I know I am most looking forward to some high school photos that I have mentioned that are underneath my bed that I've probably been avoiding since I took the photos. So that's where I'm going first. So we have some memories from study abroad, daughter's baby photos, children, Kappa photos, grandmother's photos, Kappa composites, parents, photos living on Facebook for my dear Kappa days, childhood photos, old family pictures from parents and grandparents, my daughter's trip to Greece, ancestors photos, my son's toddler photos. My goodness, guys, everybody, we're all the same. We're
Hmm.
all the same. We have them everywhere. My parents' photos, putting them on a hard drive to save them. I know for a fact I'm doing that next. There's too many to choose. You guys have such wonderful answers. I think this is probably the best time to now pull our winner. Again, you're going to be receiving a 30-minute phone call with Jennings to continue your photo digitizing and organizing journey. Brandy Henson, congratulations if you're here. Let me know if you're here. Brandy Henson. Not, I can pull somebody else. I don't see her typing in the chat, so I'm gonna pull another winner just to be safe. Okay, who's it gonna be? Who's getting this 30-minute phone call with Jennings? Hope
Yay.
everybody likes my photo of her with a phone. Erin Peterson? Erin, are you here? Give her a couple seconds. Erin, I'm gonna pull somebody else. That's okay. Somebody else can win it. Should have left the sound on so we could have had some fun spinning noises. Congratulations, Jessica Porto. Are you here, Jessica?
There she is. Jessica is
Jessica,
here.
congratulations. Well,
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm so excited. I didn't get my question answered. So
Oh,
can't,
good.
I can't
yay,
wait to do it with Jennings. Thank you.
yay, of course. I'll email you tomorrow to get all of your information over to Jenny so that you guys can set up this phone call. So
Amazing.
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jennings. This was such a
Thanks,
fun and
everybody.
yes, and such an insightful evening. We're so grateful you shared your expertise and passion for photo organization and preservation with us tonight. We love learning how to take meaningful steps towards gathering, sorting, and protecting the photos and memories that tell all of our family stories. And thank you to each and every one of you for joining us tonight, asking thoughtful questions and making tonight such a great conversation. We hope you leave feeling inspired and empowered to tackle your own photo collections, whether they're still stored in boxes. At least you now have this amazing 5-step program that Jennings has shared with us tonight. If you have the archival image itch, though, we do recommend, and just to in general, to see the
I
Kappa
just turned
photos,
it
going
on.
to the History IT website. Oh, sorry, I think I muted myself on accident. But if you have the itch, please go feel free to take a look in the digital archive. I know I seriously can get there and be lost for hours on all the photos of different kappas from over the time. So the link is in the chat. And Flourish events like these are possible thanks to our dues paying alumni. Your continued support allows us to create meaningful opportunities for lifelong learning and connection, and we're so grateful that you're a part of this community. And before you go, don't forget to sign up for what's coming up next. Next on the calendar is Carolyn Williams for Anti-Inflammatory Eating 101 on August 27th, which is followed by our September events of the Semester Book Club with Joe Landu on September 16th and Investing 101 with Jesse Draper on September 29th. So lots of fun and learning coming up that you won't want to miss. We also would love to invite you to the Kappa Kappa Gamma Foundation's Historically Speaking series. The first one of the season will be held on August 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern and is a wonderful opportunity to deepen your connection to our fraternity's traditions and heritage. Again, you'll find all the links to find Jennings and connect with her, all of the upcoming Flourish events, as well as the Foundation's Historically Speaking events in the chat, on the Flourish landing page, and on the Kappa website. Thank you guys so much for spending your evening with us, and thank you so much, Jennings. Good night, sisters. This was amazing. Yay, thank you guys. Good night.